Don't pause. Press play.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, and good dawn, fellow ARCS members. Recently, Sega dropped a new trailer for PSO2 Episode 4, and to be honest, I don't really understand what it is I'm looking at, but that's Japanese sci-fi for you. It's always pushing the envelope, and for some reason we have giant mechs fighting World War II planes. Who'd have thunk it? Now, for those of you familiar with my channel history, this might seem random, but you know I love and adore exploring dungeons and smashing giant monsters. While I have a few exceptions to this, like Overdogs, this is the main purpose of my channel between games like Monster Hunter World, Rangers of Oblivion, little Dauntless here and there, and Remnant from the Ashes. They're all giant monster smashing, dungeon crawling themed games with big boss battles and upgrades, etc. One I haven't really covered up until this point would be the Sega love child, Phantasy Star Online 2, which I play ever so often, and matter of fact, I heavily played the Japanese release back in the day, but I've never actually did any content on it. So I was looking for a way to introduce this to you guys just on a personal level, because this is a game that's very near and dear to my heart, and I finally want to shed some light on the topic. For those who do not know, PSO2 is a action sci-fi anime MMORPG created by Sega and released back in Japan around 2011 or so. It did really well. It had thousands of players just start, millions go worldwide, etc. But it was in Japanese for like a decade. Now, with an onslaught of petitions and player love, Sega finally released it stateside to Xbox, PS4, and PC a few months back, and I've been dabbling in it ever since. In the game, you play a member of ARCS, an intergalactic organization that keeps the peace per se. You mostly jump planet to planet throughout the story looking for conspiracies ranging from a new parasitic enemy called the Fall Spawn to new races and conspiracies within your own organization. This latest episode, episode 4, regards the discovery of a new planet that honestly just looks like it's identical to Earth, and judging from the cutscene, it looks like they jumped back into Earth around World War II. The ship and the planes both look really old school, and aside from the warping in of the planes themselves, which really threw me off, it looks like we've jumped back in time or maybe jumped dimensions. Weird story aside, the gameplay is what brings players into PSO2. The combat brings a lot of Monster Hunter fans to the game as well. The game uses a multi-class system with your weapon choice depending on what class you choose. Your class gets access to different skills called photon arts, which you can use at any time between regular attacks. The combat itself combines stylish ground and aerial combos with frantic weapon switching to give you an intense and immensely enjoyable gameplay experience. Enemy-wise, you aren't fighting your typical MMO bunnies and orcs, although there are these things called rappies that are just really adorable and they drop money, so if you're like an animal rights activist, I'm sorry in advance. There are also plenty of big ass monsters to fight too, so there's something for everybody. There's even some Sega nods and winks, like they have lots of Sega themed costumes from past games like all the Sonic series, for example, and it's something that they bring in on the monthly basis just to give you a social aspect. There are even these pets called mags that you get to aid you in combat, and you can feed these and grow them like a Tamagotchi. Depending on what you feed them, they'll turn into different shapes and have different strengths. Like you can have a melee mag, you can have a ranged mag, you can have a magical mag. The cool thing is that if you treat them just right, you can actually get them to become past Sega characters. Again, there's lots of Sonic references in this game. Sonic is really big in the Sega universe, but I mean, just having a little pet Sonic running around you and then shooting lasers at something just sounds kind of cool, right? Anyway, moving on, the way missions break down is you usually end up spawning into a random map, and all you have to do is just go from one map to the next, usually, unless you're in expedition mode or something. But the way they break down events is really cool because every map can have multiple infinite events. This depends on how long you want to stay there. You can have collection events, you can have kill events, you can even have bosses just walk up on you out of nowhere, and then you fight that boss again at the end. So it's really easy to farm rare equipment, money, etc. Finally, for characters, you have a lot of different options. There are many different races and lots of customization options. At one point, Phantasy Star Online just as a series was the standard for character customization. I know fans of character customization in games like Perfect World and Black Desert Online will really appreciate the Phantasy Star Online customization because that's what it's based off of. Being able to, change hip size and bust size and leg size and height and all these other things, muscularity. You have multiple, if not dozens of options to customize your character into their own, even accessories. Now, as far as classes, any character can be one of the multiple classes in the games. You have classes that range from melee to magic casters to multiple types of ranged characters. I mean, there's multiple ranged weapons from rifles to blasters to, a bayonet style gun that's both a melee and a hybrid, sniper weapon. There's a lot to do in this game, and it will provide hours hours, if not days, months, years of gameplay. I mean, there are people who've been playing this game for the last 10 years happily, so you're welcome to kill some time. And that's my 2 cents on the subject, guys. That's why I play PSO2. It has tons of variety, lots of intense gameplay, lots of big ass bosses for me to fight. There are even like some tiny humanoid bosses that are duels, kind of like in Honkai Impact 3rd. I know a lot of you guys play that. So if you're looking for something that's like a combo of Honkai Impact and Monster Hunter and, for example, Dragon Raja, I know for a lot of you that sounds like a dream game. That's what Phantasy Star Online 2 is. That's where all the hype is about. It's an extremely polished game. Yes, the graphics are a little dated because they're back from 2011, but who cares? The game is solid and there is so much more content for the game to come out with. We're only in episode 4. There are 6 episodes in the Japanese version. So definitely, if you are looking to kill some time and you're looking for a free-to-play game, definitely jump in. To my knowledge, it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, and it's on PC, and it's for free. So what do you have to lose? If you guys play it, let me know down below, like what your favorite class is, what server you play on, etc. Maybe I'll do some streaming once I get, my internet situation rectified. Maybe not. I will have some content just for shenanigans. But as always, love, peace, and elevate your hunts, y'all. Lates.